They say every person on Earth possesses something rare and remarkable. But with certain individuals, it honestly feels like they inherited the entire extraordinary gene pool. And in this video, you'll discover some of the most unique people ever documented. From a woman with a baffling medical condition to a man who resembles a real-life red skull, these individuals will leave you stunned. Their existence challenges understanding and proves just how unpredictable the human body can truly be. Let's start this countdown with 15. Paris Hermes. Paris Hermes spent years reshaping a body the world once mocked. Born in Berlin, she endured constant bullying for her looks. Ugly was the word they used, so she decided to rebuild everything. Her grandmother paid for her first breast surgery. More followed: implants, rhinoplasty, lip fillers. Over $50,000 in procedures. She calls herself Germany's Barbie, not for vanity, but because she turned insult into armor. Her critics call her artificial. She doesn't respond. What they see as plastic, she sees as authorship. Every inch of her is chosen. She isn't trying to disappear into normal. She made herself impossible to ignore. Years ago, Paris was taught to feel ashamed of her face. Now she posts bold photos without hesitation. She's not asking to be admired. She's not performing for anyone's approval. She became her own creation, shaped by defiance rather than trends. And whether people understand her or not, Paris made sure she'd never be unseen again. 14. John Wawaru. John Wawaru's fingernails stretch over a foot, curled and hardened like roots clinging to his hands. For 26 years, he hasn't trimmed a single one. Not for attention, not for show, but because he made a promise to himself. He lives in Changamwe, Kenya, and holds the African record for longest nails. His hands complicate everything. Simple movements take time. Dressing, writing, walking. He's had to adapt every step. Reactions vary. Some recoil, some stare, but John continues, unmoved. These nails aren't decoration. They represent commitment. Most people quit strange goals within days. He stayed the course for decades. There's no spectacle here, just a quiet discipline most can't match. His life requires intention, and he lives it without complaint. The nails, twisted and heavy, are not the point. The choice behind them is. John didn't grow them to be admired. He grew them because he could. And that kind of quiet defiance leaves an impression that no words ever could. Shir-san, Ilana. Ilana moves through the world in a wheelchair, cradling her child while enduring questions no mother should face. Strangers ask if the child is hers. Some assume she was forced into motherhood. Others doubt she's capable of raising anyone. She hears these things not because of who she is, but because of how she moves. Elena has cerebral palsy. Her voice is soft, but her will is constant. She raises her son with warmth, reading to him, comforting him, and singing when he cries. She can't run beside him in playgrounds, but he knows her presence in every moment. Her sister, partner, and caregivers support her, but parenting begins and ends with her. Ilana was born in Haiti and spent years without access to a wheelchair, often ignored by the world around her. Now she exists without apology. Her love doesn't ask for permission. No, she doesn't chase approval. She lives it. Her motherhood isn't explained. It's evident in everything she does. 12. Brandon measures 4 feet 7 inches in height, but carries a presence that outweighs most. Diagnosed with metatropic dysplasia, a rare skeletal condition, he grew up in constant confrontation. His body questioned, his movements mocked, his voice dismissed. For a long time, he stayed quiet. He wanted to avoid the pointing, the comments, the discomfort. But silence didn't protect him. It erased him, so he stopped shrinking. He began speaking publicly, not to inspire, but to exist without shame. Brandon tells the truth. Life hurts, judgment lingers, but none of it defines him. He doesn't sugarcoat his experience, he lays it bare. His words aren't designed to uplift, they're meant to be heard. Every sentence is a reclaiming of space denied. Brandon didn't seek acceptance. He carved out his own corner in a world that refused to make room. His height never limited his worth. His honesty did what inches never could. Cut through noise and leave something lasting behind. 11. Danielle Shield. Danielle Shield lives in a body that comes apart without warning. She's 31, and her joints dislocate dozens of times a day due to Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Standing too long, brushing her hair, even lifting her children can leave her in unbearable pain. Her heart, digestive system, and nerves are also affected. Still, she refuses to vanish into that diagnosis. Hospital visits are routine. Fatigue is relentless, but she keeps going. Her father and partner provide help, but her strength is entirely her own. Her children know her as dependable, present, and loving, not fragile. Danielle doesn't dress up her condition. She explains it honestly, not to be brave, but to be understood. She doesn't want pity, she wants accuracy. Her life isn't a survival story. It's about choosing presence when every part of her body demands retreat. Every day she shows up, not because it's easy and not because she has to, but because that's the kind of woman she is. 10. Julian Lauo. Julian Lauo didn't imitate a character. He became a reflection of it. Drawn to Trunks from Dragon Ball Z, he turned admiration into transformation. A stuntman and dancer, he sculpted his body to match the physical ideal, trained with obsession, and shaped his mindset around discipline, focus, and restraint. His hair, physique, posture, every detail became intentional. This wasn't performance, it was construction. And others call it extreme. He calls it order. No attempt at escape, no cosplay, no mask. Just a person shaped by something that once felt distant, but never empty. Julian never claimed to be Trunks. He built his own path using that influence as steel. No spotlight, no stage. Just silence, sweat, and structure. His transformation didn't erase identity, it defined it. Trunks didn't replace him, he sharpened him. There's no costume here. What he became isn't fiction. It's the result of precise control, anchored belief, and years of work most wouldn't attempt. The difference lies in the execution, not the image. 9. Victoria Marioli. Victoria Marioli wasn't expected to survive. Born in Brazil with Treacher-Collins syndrome, she entered the world missing 40 facial bones. Her eyes, jaw, and mouth formed in unusual positions. Doctors predicted hours. She gave them years, 9 and counting. She's undergone multiple surgeries with ongoing treatment at Shriners Hospital in Texas. Her parents, Ronaldo and Jocelyn, faced every barrier without flinching. They navigated stares, ignorance, assumptions, and costs with resolve. Cruelty found them, but so did persistence. Victoria speaks a few words, but her presence is undeniable. No diagnosis explained her survival. No numbers accounted for her determination. Her face carries its own language. Strength without force, endurance without noise. She doesn't inspire pity, she resists it. Strangers try to define her with terms that fall short. Victoria's life moves beyond medical expectation, not because she proves people wrong, but because she never waits for permission to exist. There's no miracle here, and only the daily certainty that some lives simply continue, no matter the shape. 8. Sani and Sanuti Rana Singhi. Two sisters, one path. Sani and Sanuti Rana Singhi, identical twins from Colombo, moved to New Zealand carrying more than hope. They carried precision. From childhood, their vision was exact. Become surgeons, study together, succeed together. 6 years at the University of Auckland, clinical rotations in Melbourne, surgical training in London. Every step mirrored the other. Their technique, timing, and focus never wavered. Hospital staff often confused them, but never questioned their capability. They operated side by side, not as duplicates, but as collaborators shaped by a single discipline. Their story isn't remarkable because they're twins. It matters because they held to a commitment made early and followed it with full intent. Our graduation wasn't a celebration, it was confirmation. A promise written years ago became a name stitched on identical white coats. They now step into separate roles, but the pace remains locked. Nothing about their journey was casual. Every moment was deliberate. What they share isn't a coincidence. It's earned rhythm, carried equally. 7. Elijah entered the world shaped by restriction. Amniotic band syndrome left his right eye lightless, his lip cleft, and his fingers fused. Before birth, strands of tissue began reshaping him. His mother, Amy, received the news at 20 weeks. There was fear, but no pause. He arrived as expected, damaged but alive. Images were shared. Praise and cruelty arrived together. Reactions never changed his reality. His hand didn't grip easily. His face bore the marks. But he smiled, responded, tough when moved with awareness. He existed without adjustment. He required care, multiple procedures, and future surgeries. But he needed no fixing to matter. The world offered opinions. His family offered space. Elijah didn't choose attention. He simply lived in a body that demanded effort from the beginning. That life didn't ask to be explained. It only asked to be met without judgment. His condition isn't the story. His presence is. He didn't survive to teach anything. He survived because he could. And that, in itself, is complete. 6. Henry Rodriguez. Henry Rodriguez didn't wear a costume. He reshaped his body until it no longer resembled anything familiar. Red Skull wasn't a favorite character. It was a form that reflected something internal. Born in Venezuela, Henry began altering his face permanently. His skin is now crimson, 9 eyes blackened, nose removed, bone implants pressed beneath the surface. No filters, no disguise. His transformation carried pain, social, physical, personal. He lost relationships, faced rejection, received threats, but never stepped back. The more others saw a villain, the more he felt understood. The changes weren't sudden. They came through years of calculated steps. His face became the final result of a process grounded in intention, not escape, not performance. Henry didn't change for acceptance. He changed to match a truth long hidden. Every mark was a sentence, every scar, a decision. His appearance unsettles many, but for him, it's stillness. He didn't seek to shock. He only wanted the outside to finally agree with what never changed inside. 5. Terry Sullivan. Terry Sullivan never got to ease into her body. Born with incontinentia pigmenti, her skin blistered, her teeth weakened, her vision blurred. At 16, her retina tore free. Pain trailed her for years until the choice became clear. Remove the eye. What sounded extreme gave her calm. The prosthetic fits better than the damaged one ever did. No more tension behind the socket. No more flinching. Later, she spoke about it online. The response stunned her. Millions listened without mockery. People saw her, not the gap. Confidence returned. She learned to apply makeup by memory. She laughed louder. That single change didn't just fix vision, it brought back ownership. Her face became hers again. Not perfect, not symmetrical, just honest. The things she'd spent years hiding now anchored her. She never framed it as a tragedy. It wasn't. Losing the eye ended the pain. Keeping her voice ended the shame. She doesn't soften the truth. She wears it, steady and sharp, where everyone can see. 4. Tuna Tyler built his world around tuna. Not as comfort food, as a ritual, as a necessity. From childhood, tuna replaced toys. The brine, the oil, the salt. His grounding points. 15 cans a week. No breaks. He drinks the liquid. Smell the tin before each bite. Friends flinch. He doesn't. Consistency mattered more than variety. In a house of unpredictability, a can opener meant stability. School lunches? Tuna. Late nights? Tuna. Every sharp flavor became a marker of time. Not obsession, calibration. The shelves in his home are stacked, and each can be precisely chosen. He never questioned why. He didn't need to. People offered advice. He never asked for it. Others unwind with noise or silence. When he opens a can, and breathes easier. There's no show, no spectacle, just repetition, deeply rooted. In a world that spins too fast, tuna never changed. The label stayed the same. The smell is always familiar. While others chase escape, he returned to the one thing that never moved out from under him. 3. Mag's body doesn't misbehave, it misfires. Her nervous system runs the wrong wires. Seizures without notice, limbs that refuse to move, sleep attacks that strike mid-conversation. a neurological condition with no warning signs on a chart. Laughter once knocked her out cold. Joy isn't safe. Love doesn't always stay in memory. Some days she wakes up and Tara, her girlfriend, is a stranger. Not by choice, by scramble. Tara stays, rebuilds. They use photos, notes, patterns. Mag captures what she can online. Not for sympathy. For the record, her condition won't show up on scans, but it shapes every hour. Some call it rare, others call it imagined. She has no time for either. She holds on to what matters: speech, connection, awareness. If memory slips, she carves it back into place. What makes her remarkable isn't endurance, it's precision. She marks time with attention. She doesn't beg for understanding. She demands space. Her mind resets without consent, but her will doesn't follow it. 2. Robert Hogue. Robert Hogue's face arrived before he was wanted. Bone pushed forward, legs turned in. His mother doubted. She wrote it down, not to erase the shame, but to face it. Robert read it all, understood it early. Doctors rebuilt his face at 4. He allowed it. Later they offered more. He declined. Sight mattered. Familiarity mattered. So when a smoother face wasn't worth less clarity, he chose to stay visibly different. Wrote a memoir titled Ugly, not to provoke, to name it before anyone else could. He worked as a journalist, a public servant, and a speaker. No hiding, no soft tones. The world stares. He stares back. He doesn't sugarcoat his life or decorate it with redemption. He refuses erasure through surgery or silence. He doesn't frame his face as a burden or triumph. It exists. That's enough. He filled the space others avoided, didn't wait for the invitation. Never edited the truth for comfort. His difference didn't need fixing. The discomfort belonged to everyone else. 1. Alex had 22 root canals before adulthood. None lasted. Her teeth cracked, collapsed, vanished. By 19, her mouth was empty. By 23, full dentures replaced everything. Shame came first. She spoke less, smiled rarely, felt older than her body. Strangers asked questions that hit too hard, but mirrors shift stories. Her dentures didn't make her feel fake. They gave her form again. Not perfect, functional, hers. Online, people called her Dentures Girl. She didn't correct them. She showed up anyway, explained her meals, her dates, her bad days. There were no filters, no detours. Her confidence returned in pieces, shaped by honesty, not compliments. She didn't cover anything. She unwrapped it. Her teeth don't define her, neither does their absence. What matters is the silence she broke, the fear she outran, and the new kind of smile she built from zero. She lives without adjustment. She laughs without hiding. What left her mouth didn't take her voice. That stayed louder than ever. And we hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you later.